but we have a problem. That looks like it's scaled up. It's been a very small weep. You can see by the staining underneath there as well. That's been dripping onto there very slowly. And this is a gravity system. Well, it was a gravity system. We're now going to be pressurizing it. And you know what's going to happen. The chances are I put it all down, pressurize it, and that's going to leak. So now I need to cut that here, try and unsweat that tee off. Finally, I can sit down for 5 minutes and record this intro. I don't know about you guys, but since September's hit, and it happens every year, my phone has just gone bing, 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 bing. And I'm not saying that to boast or anything about how busy I am or anything like that. You guys know I keep it real. I don't boast about stuff like that. Some people do. They like to make out that they're super busy. They're booked up until next year. Me being a breakdown engineer, I'm never booked that far in advance, but at the moment, my next available date is the 18th of October. And we're the 27th of September today. So for someone who does predominantly breakdowns, that's me being booked up quite far in advance. And I'm struggling to keep up with my diary at the moment. And it's just gone a bit crazy. I don't know about you guys, what you guys are feeling, but it's gone a bit crazy to the point where I stopped working weekends and since I'm self-employed. But I had to work yesterday because I physically haven't got space in this coming week to get certain jobs done. And these are for existing customers. It's not for new customers. And I'm sorry if this sounds bad to any potential customers watching, but right now, when I'm getting calls for emergencies and stuff like that, if it's for an emergency, if it's a genuine emergency, then I'll see what I can do. But other than that, if I've got to go and do a job on a weekend, it would be for existing customers who I've already got a business relationship with. If it's for new customers, then I'm sorry. If you can't wait, then you would have to find someone else. And that's just me being totally honest about how busy I am at the moment. So please don't take it the wrong way. I am a one-man band. There's only so much I can do in a 24-hour period, which includes eating, sleeping, spending time with my family as well. So yeah, mentally, it's hard to turn away work when you're self-employed, but also mentally you need to turn away work in order to keep your sanity, because otherwise, I've done it before. I said yes to everyone and it broke me by the end of it. By Christmas, I was a broken man, and I wouldn't recommend it. It's good to be busy. It's a good problem to have, but you also need to manage stuff up here as well. So take each day in its stride, take each job as it comes, and basically don't bust your balls for no reason. You know, you got to make a judgment call when to say yes, when to say no. Having said that, this video is probably one of the last summer jobs that I've done. It was a conversion from a gravity-fed cylinder to an unvented cylinder, and we've got a little breakdown chucked in at the end as well. So I do hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know how you guys are finding the market at the moment, and let's bring silly season for me. I was going to say let's bring a silly season. I think it's already here. Let's stick together, pass jobs around to each other. If you can't get to them and you know someone in the area, pass the job on, keep that customer relationship going by getting their job done in another way. And there's enough work to go around. There's enough for everyone to have a piece of the pie. Let's share it between us and let's have a good silly season. Enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. How are we all doing? It's Monday, bank holiday Monday, the summer bank holiday. What is it? 29th of July, I believe. And I'm working. The reason I'm working is because I've got a cylinder installed to do today. As you can see, we're currently draining down. How's that doing? That's still draining. How's that doing? Oh, cylinder, I think is drained out. Yeah, the reason I'm working on a bank holiday is because today and tomorrow, the only 2 consecutive days I've got available until, I would say, end of September. And the reason for that is because Arian starts school, he starts reception in September, and he's got his settling in weeks, which means I can't do any big jobs during that time. So I don't want to be servicing and repairs. And this is a customer of mine where I fitted a backseat heat only over a year ago. We were in the talks of upgrading the heating, the hot water side as well, because they've got this old open vent cylinder, and you can see down here it's had some leaks, it's had some issues. I've got Josh and V in the bathroom. I'll show you that in a moment as well. But yeah, you can see there that cylinder is on its way out. Now when I did the boiler install, I checked the flow rate here. They've got over 20 litres a minute. It was spilling out of my flow cup, so they're prime set for an unvented setup, which is what we're here to do today. So this is coming out. It's all currently being drained out. It sounds like it's still actually burning. Let me just open that 3-port up. So as it's going to be an unvented, I need to hook that in. Come on, hook in. Yeah, I think that's hooked now. Because it's an unvented, we've got to change this from a Y plan to an S plan. Putting in a bigger cylinder, putting in a 200 litre cylinder. This is a 114 litre cylinder. So they want a slightly bigger cylinder, not slightly, double the size. 200 litre cylinder. We've got enough head height here. Do need to sort out the flooring as well. As you can see, currently it's just sitting on a kitchen door because I think they had a leak in the past somewhere and there's just a big gaping hole left in the floor. So I've got some ply, gonna sort that out, make sure that the floor's all nice and sturdy for the new cylinder. Keeping the same pump, obviously changing the pump valves and everything. I'm going to change this wiring center to a nice shiny Wago one. Everything else is here already. We've got cold services, down services, hot services. The cold main though is not here. The cold main is up in the loft. So I'm going to link, that's the cold feed to the cylinder, and that's the down service from the cold water storage tank. So we're going to link both of those out in the loft. So that's all going to be on mains. And then obviously the hot's going to get connected back on as well. Got some 28mm pipework here, which will reduce down to 22 where we can. It's actually quite good that the cold mains is coming from there, because I can literally, I'm going to get rid of that gate valve and probably reduce it from there straight to 22 and put in the combi valve on that side. And then we can just bring the pipework down wherever we need to go. Discharge the D2, there's a bathroom right here. So we've got 2 options. The bath panel comes off. We can either punch it straight out the wall, but I think we're probably going to tee it into the bath waste, into 1.5 inches. I've got a fair bit to do today. The plan for today is to get the cylinder piped up and come back tomorrow and do the wiring. So I want to get it on the immersion today, so at least they've got hot water until tomorrow, and then I can come back tomorrow and sort all the wiring out. And in the meantime, Josh and V are in here. They've ripped out this little ensuite because the customer wants. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello. They've ripped out the flooring here. They're going to be relaying new flooring here, and then the sanitary ware is going back in its own place. Got to change the bar mixer here as well, and a few other bits and bobs. So they're going to be cracking on with that. I'm going to be cracking on with the cylinder. I will try and film as much as I can. As you can see, it's quite a tight space. I'm probably going to take this door off, so it gives me a bit more room. Yeah, then I'll probably put some sheets down either there or there, and I can unload stuff. I've started unloading a few bits. Right now I just want to get this drained out, get this out, and then I can start working, get the new cylinder in, get the flooring down, get the new cylinder in, and then work out how I'm going to do all my pipe work. Keep you guys posted, stay tuned. Let's see how this one turns out. Okay, let me bring you guys up into the loft. I'm sweating already. It is a warm day today. Unlike yesterday where it wasn't quite as warm. So we've got 15mm cold main coming here. That's I'm going to cut that there, shoot it off there, link it out into the 2 cold services there. Just drained out the heating and the cold water storage tank. Use the fancy de blow. I know people will be like, oh, it's an expensive bit of kit. It is an expensive bit of kit, but fortunately I did get it sent out for free, and I do think it's a great bit of kit. It is expensive, I'm not going to lie, but it serves a purpose. So I've been able to pump all of the water, most of the water, out to the overflows. There's just the last few dregs left in there, which won't be too bad to get out.
And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut the F&E tank out. I want to get the cold back on, the cold water back on as soon as possible, because we've got no running water in the property at the moment. Get the cold back on, valve things off downstairs in the airing cupboard, and then we should be good to crack on with the cylinder. That's all drained out now. I need to start disconnecting all the pipe work and then get the cylinder out, sort that flooring out, get the new cylinder in, and then try and work out how I'm going to do all my pipe work. You know me, I'm not a big fan of pipe work, but I've got Josh and V here with me as well to give me a second pair of eyes to see how I can do things. The first things first, let's get this out. Let's get the cold linked out, get the water back on, and then we can crack on with the cylinder downstairs. Got the cylinder out, uncovered the floor, which was basically just an old kitchen cupboard door. So in terms of relaying this bit, it's not too much of an issue because we've got joists here, we've got joists here that we can screw onto and just cut a bit of ply out, and that'll sit on there. And then depending on the size of the cylinder, might reuse this to set the cylinder on, the new one. But we have a problem. That looks like it's scaled up. It's been a very small weep. You can see by the staining underneath there as well. That's been dripping onto there very slowly. And this is a gravity system. Well, it was a gravity system. We're now going to be pressurizing it. And you know what's going to happen. The chances are I put it all down, pressurize it, and that's going to leak. So now I need to cut that here, try and unsweat that T off. And then, because these look like heating pipes. Yeah. Heating flow, that's going around there. Yeah, they're heating pipes. So cut that off, cut that there, unsweat that T, and then sweat a new T on. New bit of, I'm gonna have to solder that, I won't be able to get the press gun in there. So let's do that first now. That was not fun. I managed to press in that bottom T, was very tricky, but luckily angle jaws for the win. I managed to get the press gun in that way, put the angle sling around from there and pressed it in that direction. I was gonna solder it, but there was still water coming out the pipes. I didn't want to mess around with it too much. Tested it with press fittings, it worked, so that's pressed. Now that's in, I can carry on, sort this flooring out here, cut out whatever I need to cut out, and then we can get the new cylinder in, and then I can start doing some pipe work. I think this, I'll probably cut that higher up there. That cold can stay there. That hot, I'm going to go and measure the cylinder, the height of it, and see how high it comes up, because then what I'll probably have to do is cut that just below there. Oh, I'm sweating. Cut that below there, bring that up, and then just leave a long bit there, so that when the cylinder comes in, we can connect the hot draw off onto it. Because once it's in, we won't be able to get onto it. Let's do a bit of that, sort out this, and then get the cylinder in, then start actually piping it up. I'm sorry. This is another one of those jobs where I'm going to show you before and after. Well, a progress update. It's just been very tight to work in here, and there was nowhere for me to set up the camera, and there was a lot to do. So I've just left the camera on the side, and I'm just going to be doing progress updates on this. So this is where we are at the moment. We've just got the water back on. It's 6 o'clock. We've only just got the water back on. long because I had to get the cylinder, put the cylinder in, got it back out again because we needed to make the hole for the discharge. We wouldn't have been able to do that with the cylinder in. So I did that all first, got that ready, and then I done the cold, which is, I ended up using the old hot vent as a cold feed. So Josh has linked that up in the loft. That's come around the back there, straight into there, got the filling loop there. And I've stopped using drain offs and using washing machine valves as drain points, because we always find there's issues with the rubber and stuff like that. So I've seen a few people do washing machine valves as drain offs, and that's what I'm going to be using now going forward as well. Started working on the flow side, going to carry on with that in a moment, but we're literally just letting the cylinder fill up, and then the water's back on. We've got good pressure on the cold, just waiting for the hot. I think it sounds like it's nearly ready. In here there's a lot going on. Lights, change the lights, new extractor fan coming out, going in, sorry, you can hear that. So just waiting for the hot water to come through, and then I'm going to crack on. Oh, here we go. There we go. Lovely. Hot water's on. It's good we've got no leaks anywhere either as well, which is the main thing I want to test. So that's good. Now we'll carry on. I have put the expansion vessel fairly high, but we can still get to the recharging point up there. That's at the front. We'll put the heating vessel probably up here, and then I'm going to come off of it with a T that I'm going to have it facing that way. So we're going to have a pressure gauge on there. PRV is going to come out the back. That's going to tie in with that. It's going to tie in with that and go straight into there. That's the cold mains coming in from upstairs. That's all linked out as well. Let's just crack on now. Here we are, day 2 on the cylinder conversion. I apologize again. I didn't do a final update video yesterday because I was absolutely knackered. We finished at about 9 o'clock last night, but the heating system was pressurized. We're back this morning and the needle is pretty much exactly where it was topped up to last night. That gives me reassurance and confidence that there's no leaks on the system, on the heating system. Those T's that I did under there, I know they're not leaking because the pressure's held. And this is where we got to yesterday. So everything was piped up. I will do a full run through afterwards, but today my plan is get the discharges done. So I already brought that up yesterday, as you saw. Going to get the discharges run into there. I'm probably going to cut in a lever valve and another T with a drain off for the heating expansion vessel as well. And wiring, I've got to do the wiring today. I'm going to be governed by the existing wiring center because we've got the cables coming out the wall, the power cables, and the fuse spur is actually downstairs by the boiler, so it's not one of these. So I can't redo anything here. So the wiring center is going to have to go back here where it is. I'm going to wire in the immersion. So that's already, I've got enough length on that, so that will go straight onto there. Like I said, I'll go through the whole install at the end. I have started using washing machine valves as drain offs rather than traditional drain offs because of the rubber sticking. I think I mentioned that in yesterday's video. I can't remember. I'm losing the plot. I lost the plot yesterday. I'm back today in a better state of mind. And I just want to get this done today. Well, it will get done today. And yeah, this light, by the way, behind me, the Unilite MTB5000. MTB5000? Yeah. Wicked work light for these sort of situations because it runs off of your power tool battery. It comes with a number of different adapters: DeWalt, Makita, Milwaukee, and Metabo. Obviously, I'm a DeWalt man, so I've got a 5 amp DeWalt battery in there, and that literally just it stays on. I mean, if you can look at you can see the battery power. So I've had that on just on 1500 lumens, so it's not even on max, and I've had that on pretty much half the day yesterday, and still got 60% battery left on there. So it's a wicked work light for this sort of situations. So if you want one, head over to Unilite's website, use my code UNCLE, and you will get 25% off everything, your whole basket. So fill your boots. So discharges all done. Got the TPRV there, got the PRV teed into there, and then we've got the PRV coming up the combi valve, all going into that Tesla tunn dish. So that's a non-return valve tunn dish, so it's going to stop any smells from coming back up. Pipe work is all pretty much done. I do need to drain the pressure off to cut in the valve, and I need to add an inhibitor as well, so I'll do all that at the end once I'm finished doing the wiring, which is what I'm going to be starting on next. Now I'm not going to be able to record this because you can see it's a very tight gap. There's nowhere for me to set the camera up, so I'm just going to get the wiring done. But I just wanted to show you guys how I do it in terms of identifying everything. So this is the old 3-port cable. Where I'm converting this from Y plan to S plan, it's very important to keep the old 3-port cable connected in. Just cut the end off there. The reason why is because that 3-port cable will tell you what each of the other wires are. Because we've got different colors, we've got different reds, yellows, blues. They're not all what you think they might be. Not all the blues might be neutrals. Not all the reds or the browns might be lives. You might have switch lives, this, that, the other. Yellows might be switch lives as well. So keep this connected. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm governed by the cables coming out the wall, so it's gonna have to stay as it is. And I'm gonna fit the new wiring center on here, and then I'm gonna start doing one by one. So I'm gonna identify which is my permanent lives, which is my thermostat cables, which is my boiler cables. Obviously cylinder stack cable, I've even kept the cylinder stat still connected as well, so I can determine which is my common switch live. Obviously on the 3-port, because it was on a Y plan, we would have had one for the hot water off as well, which we don't need anymore. That also reminds me, I'll also need to rewire the programmer downstairs as well, because that's currently wired as a Y plan, so I need to rewire that as an S plan as well, which isn't a major issue. When I say rewire, I just got to take out the cable for hot water off and remove it from here. So I'm gonna start disconnecting some of the wires, mark them up so I know which is sort of permanent live, thermostat wire, boiler cable, etc., and then get the new wiring center on, got myself some Wagos, and then start making a plan on how to wire this up. Say that again?
I'll wait for Hoover so you can hoover up.
No, you gotta wait for me to video so then you can hoover.
Let me just hoover.
Alright,
Hear me out there.
I'll let him hoover and then I'll come back to this. Oh, we are finally done. Like I said, it was a very tight working space, so I wasn't really able to film me working. So it has been progress updates and a little bit before and after, but it is what it is. Where do I start? Let's start with the domestic side. So I took the, remember those, I was going to take the cold feed there, the 28mm one, but I ended up just taking the old hot vent pipe and using that as a cold feed. Brought that round the back of the vessel. Scale reducer, combi valve. That cold feed has been linked out in the loft, so that's the domestic cold. Obviously hot's tied in. Vessel, filling loop, Tesla tunn dish, butterfly valves on the pumps, all the PRVs and TPRVs all done. Put a isolation valve and a washing machine valve to use as a drain off for the expansion vessel when it comes to recharging. And yes, I can get to the Schrader valve at the top there. That one's a lot more easier, but that one I positioned it as high as I could, just so that in case if I ever need to work on that or any part of this, I've got enough room as well. I've used the clever couplers system on the zone valves, so it means if they ever need replacing in the future, literally just undo the 2 nuts, slide it out just like how you would do with the pump. Immersion's wired in, new Wago wiring center, that all got done as well. Everything's on. I mean, yeah, cylinder return, that's getting nice and hot. Bypass is warm, so that's set okay as well. Yeah, like I said, I've started using washing machine valves as drain off points just so that we don't have that issue with the rubber sticking. Pressure's been holding, everything's fired up. We've had no airlocks, which is a bonus. Heating's getting hot, hot water's getting hot. We're done. Done. Comments, criticisms welcome. I know it's not the best pipework. I've done the best that I can with the space that I've got. I'm sure other people have done it differently. I was initially planning to do a manifold type system here where I was going to put the pump, zone valve bypass, but then I figured if I ever need to do any work on it, if the cylinder's there right in front of it, it's going to be a bit tricky to get to the zone valves, hence why I put the zone valves at each of the zones basically where it's going to go into, so maintenance wise it's a lot more easier to access as well. And round here, Josh and V have done their bit. So in here it was basically just replacing the flooring, putting a new bar mixer on, and then putting the sanitary ware back in. So they've done their bit. That was all done yesterday. Josh just had a few snagging bits to do today. But other than that, we're all done. Thanks for watching. Right, got this breakdown I've just come to where we've got Hive heating hot water controls, but hot water's on, boiler's not doing anything up in loft space. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get the wiring center open, going to see if we've got power to the brown on the hot water cable for the zone valve. If we do, and that's not motoring over, I've got one of those out of my van because I've just come from that unvented install, so my van is completely packed full of rubbish. So I picked out the zone valve before I loaded everything in. Let's get this open and do some checks and see if my suspicions are correct or not. It's very tight in here. Okay, hot water zone valve. That's this first black cable there. Where's the brown? Brown for that is coming. It's this one here. Let's find the earth. Make sure polarity is correct first. Yeah, 240 there. Nothing there. Yep, polarity is good. So one probe on the earth and follow this one up. Yep, got power on the brown. Nothing on the switch. It's going to be a dodgy synchro motor. Let's get that swapped out.
So a job like this is a great example of where Powered Now comes into its own. So where the customer contacted me whilst I was on the other cylinder job, I added their details onto Powered Now. So the customer record was already created. I was here, I quoted him how much it's going to cost to do the job, got all the paperwork ready on the app whilst I was getting this done. And then as soon as the job was finished, pinged him over the invoice, he paid up there and then. I could settle it on the app as well to show that it's been paid. It means as soon as I get home, I can relax, haven't got to do any paperwork. Click the link in the description, get yourself a 14-day free trial, see how it works for you.
5 minutes and I'm already sweating. Let's power it on. Oh, there we go. Sweat dripping off me already. Okay. Let's put the boiler on. Right, hot water demand is on. There we go, that's motored over already. And the boiler's received the demand. Yeah. We did test it after stop recording. Got the customer to run the heating and underfloor heating off of their phone. And these two worked, they opened up. Just waiting for this to fire up. There's still some heat in the boiler. There we go. Flames on. I know you probably can't see it, but the flame's on. And yeah, we've got heat flowing through the hot water zone valve. There we go. Close up the wiring center. Job done. Part number. I use the Wolseley ones, 340085. I've never been let down by the Wolseley synchron motors. I always keep about 5 of them on the van, especially in silly season, because zone valves are very common problems. That's all done. Let's go home.